హలో ఫ్రెండ్స్, అందరు ఎలా ఉన్నారు? అందరైతే బాగున్నారు అనుకుంటున్నాను. నేనైతే మరొక సోషల్ స్టడీస్ 10th క్లాస్ వీడియోతోటి మీ ముందుకైతే వచ్చేసాను. సో ఈరోజు నేను చూస్ చేసుకున్న టాపిక్ ఆల్రెడీ మీకైతే thumbnail చూసి అర్థమైంది కదా, ప్రొడక్షన్ అండ్ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ 10th క్లాస్ తెలంగాణ అండ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ స్టేట్ సిలబస్ అండి. సో టుడే వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిస్కస్ అబౌట్ ద ప్రొడక్షన్ అండ్ ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ లెసన్ చాప్టర్ 3 from 10th class social studies. So you may have come across such news, what is called GDP, and we being talked about the GDP. What is the relation does it have with the sectors of Indian economy? And let us try to understand what is GDP through this lesson, production and employment. And before going into the topic, first we discuss about the different types of sectors, different sectors of economy. So students, here already we have discussed about different people are engaged in different activities to earn their livelihood in your classes 8th and 9th. So here now we are going to discuss about these activities very broadly, and these activities are broadly categorized in as agriculture and related activities such as fishing, forestry, mining, where nature has a dominant role in the production, and which is also known as a primary sector. The second one is an industrial sector, or the manufacturing processes or in the other industries where goods are produced by people using tools or machines. And the third one is those activities that do not result in good but provide services that are required in production and other services for people. So here the production and employment, here the sectors are divided into three different sectors. First one is a primary sector or the agriculture sector, and second one is a secondary sector or industrial sector, and third one is a tertiary sector or service sector. So the Indian economy is broadly divided into three different sectors: primary, secondary, tertiary, agriculture, industrial and service sector. So here these are related to different activities performed in the different sectors. The first sector, agriculture, it is related activities such as fishing, forestry, mining, where nature has a very dominant role because it is completely related to the agriculture activities. And second one, coming to the second sector, industrial sector, and this industrial sector, it includes where the raw materials are processed and goods were produced using some kind of tools and machineries. Coming to the tertiary sector, and these goods they will not provide any type of goods in the service sector. Only the services are rendered by the people. In return, we are paying them money. So here the service sector will provide only services, will not produce any goods like the above two sectors. So to recall these differences, we have certain examples like tailor, basket weaver, flower cultivator, milk vendor, fisherman, priest, courier, works in a match factory. So these are the different occupations from the different sectors. So here these three sectors will contribute for the contribution of GDP. So now first we discuss about the GDP. What is the GDP? The GDP here, the gross domestic product, so which is an entire income from all the three different sectors of the nation. So here how we calculate the GDP? So here the GDP is calculated on the final goods. So here whatever the goods are produced finally, on that value the GDP is calculated. So here the best example is given in the textbook to understand how to estimate GDP or how to calculate the GDP. So here a farmer who sells a paddy to a rice mill for the ₹25 per kg, and she sells 100 kilograms of paddy per kg 25 rupees. Now let us assume that she did not have to buy any seeds. She also kept some seeds for to cultivate the next crop. So the total value of a paddy produced by her is 2500 as per kg is 25 rupees. So the rice mill takes out the rice and sells 80 kilograms of rice to the hotelier for the ₹40 per kg. So here she sells, the farmer sells 100 kilograms of paddy at the cost of 25 rupees per kg. So here she kept some seeds for the next crop to cultivate. So here the rice miller, he sold out the he got the 80 kilograms of rice, and he sold out after removing the husk to the hotelier at the rupees 40 rupees per kg. Okay, 80 into 40 rupees per kg. So here, and finally the 20 kilograms of husk at the 20 rupees per kg. So out of 100 kilograms of paddy, here after removing the husk from the paddy, here we got the 80 kilograms of rice. So here this miller sold out 80 kilograms of rice at the cost of 40 rupees per kg, and 20 kgs of husk at the cost of 20 rupees per kg. So total value of the goods produced by the rice miller is 80 into 40 plus 20 into 20 is 3600, and this is what the hotelier pays the rice miller. So finally the hotelier makes idli and dosa, and the husk is used as a fuel by him. So the hotel owner, by using the rice and the husk, makes out of 5,000 from the sale of idli and dosa. So here the final value is 5,000. So here, such as paddy, rice and a husk is in this example are the intermediary goods. I think you understand. So here the paddy, rice and the husk are the examples of intermediary goods. So on these goods any value is not calculated, any GDP value is not calculated. The GDP is calculated on the final value of idli and dosa. So here the value of 5,000 rupees worth of hotel items sold by the hotelier are the final goods. Already includes 3,600 rupees the value of a rice and the husk used as a physical inputs. So here the GDP is calculated on the final value of goods produced. The value of a final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of the sector for that year. So here the sum of production in these three sectors gives the value of a gross domestic product, what we call the GDP. And here GDP of the country. So here the value of all the final goods and services produced within a country during the particular year, and like you may have noticed that GDP figures are given for the year like 2023 to 2024. This means the figures are pertaining to the April 2023 to March 31st 2024, and this period is known as the financial period. So another important thing here, the GDP records the market value of all the final goods and services are produced. But here behind this there are many items that are not sold or purchased in the market. So here we are calculating the GDP only on the market value of the final goods, but behind this there are so many items which are not only sold in the market, but also some are like selling from the homes. Here example like work is done at the home like cooking, cleaning, organizing, bringing up children, tending to plants and the cattle. So these are certain examples which were not done in the market. So here this does not involve any monetary transactions, and therefore they remain outside the GDP measure. But these are also extremely important for the Indian economy, and these are the unpaid work is done mostly by the women even today. So in India, across the globe also, mostly here the women are doing the unpaid work at the homes. Even this should be considered. So here next moving to the what are the changes in the importance of the sectors and the value of a goods and services produced and the employment of a people. So here the change of importance of a sectors. The first one is a primary sector, which is also known as a agriculture sector or the farming sector. So earlier the farming was a major activity which was done up to 80 to 90% of the people, as they were all dependent on the agriculture. So in the late 50 years, that is from 1950 to 1960s, if we observe, the industrial revolution has a great impact on the India. Then after we got the independence. So here the first 4-year plan was implemented, and which was stressed more for the development of industries after the independence. And there were certain changes that have taken place, and many people they are shifting from primary sector to the industrial sector after the industrial revolution. contribution. So here the transformation of employment, more opportunities which were increased the income of GDP also. So the income of the family increased. So if you observe in the last 30 years, the family incomes, industrial sector contributed to the 20% and the service sectors has contributed more GDP to the nation. So, if we observe here in the developed countries, the service sector plays a major role in the income of a nation, that is GDP, and to decide whether a country is developed or non-developed, underdeveloped. So, like a majority of the people should not be in a primary sector, but should be in a secondary or the service sector. So, it means the country to be a developed country. So, here the most of the majority of the people they should work in the secondary sector or the tertiary sector, that is industrial sector or service sector. For example, in Australia and America, the people depend on agriculture is less than 5%. In India, for every 100 people, the 60 people depend on agriculture. So here the service sectors like community, finance, trade, hotels. So here the community, the different communities aspects, they're dealing with the things. The financing like banking, insurances, and other finances like trading, hotels, non-financing, and which were paid for you services. So that means that they are giving services and for which we are being paid. Suppose here a taxi driver is there, like as we book the cab, he comes to our doorstep and he picks up us and just he will take us to our destination. So for being he came and he took us and he dropped us to the destination, and we are paying for his service. So here the paid for your services, and which has increased since last 30 years, which has contributed a lot of GDP to the nation. So here in the textbook, he has given us the pie diagrams where comparing the 1973 and 1974, the three different sectors with the year 2015 to 2016, how the what changes were taken place. And if you observe here, the agriculture sector during the time of 1973 to 74, which the most of the people, 43% of the people are dependent on agriculture. Coming to 2015 to 16, only 19% of the people are dependent on agriculture. And coming to the industrial sector, during the time of 1973 to 74, here the 22% of the people are dependent, where it is increased to 28% in the year 2015 to 16. So in the same way, the service sector and the financing, insurance and the real estate, community, social and the personal services, trade, hotels, transport and communication. Employment, the working life in India. So here the gross domestic product, that is GDP of a country, has a very close relationship with the total number of working people in that country. So in every country, as the population increases, it is essential that the country has to provide the employment opportunities for the people. Unless they get the jobs to earn, so they could not lead a life, they could not get the food and other necessities to fulfill their requirements. So here, according to the census of India 2011, out of 1210, that is 1210 million persons in India, here the 460 million people are workers. So that is the people engaged in some productive activities in this sectors. So here, unfortunately in India, there has been a change in the share of three different sectors in GDP. So here the three different sectors contribute a different percentage of a GDP to the nation. So here the three sectors in 1973 to 74 and 2015 to 2016, so the employment shift out of the agriculture sector is not changed. So the largest number of people are dependent on agriculture only. It was not changed. Why? Because of not enough jobs were created in the industry and the service sector. So the people are being dependent on the agriculture sector. So here more than half of the workers in the country are working in the agriculture sector only, but not in the production sector or the service sector. But here, whereas here the large number of people are engaged in agriculture sector, but here the contribution to the nation, the GDP contribution to the nation is very less. So here only 1/6 of the GDP is produced by the agriculture sector. And in contrast to this, the industry and the service sectors produce the 3/4 of the GDP, whereas the employ only about half of the proportion of the workers. So here this means the workers in agriculture sector are not producing as much as they could. So here if you observe, there are more people in agriculture, but everyone may not be fully occupied. So few people move out, production will be not be affected, and in this way more number of people are engaged than required in agriculture, and this is called the disguised unemployment. So here the disguised unemployment is nothing but more number of people are engaged than required in agriculture. More number of people are required. Okay, more number of people are engaged in than required in agriculture, which is known as a disguised unemployment. So here we have an example from this textbook. Gayatri, who owns about the 2 hectares of unirrigated land, and she is dependent on only a rain to grow the crops like jowar and the red gram. So here the all 5 members of her family work on this plot throughout the year. And why they have to work on this plot, all the family members? So here they have now nowhere else to go for work. If you observe here, everyone are working in the Gayatri's family and no one remains idle, but in actual fact the labor efforts are get divided among the family members. So each one is doing some work, but no one is fully employed, and this situation of the people who are under employment. So the people are apparently working, but all of them are made to work less than their potential, and this kind of underemployment is hidden in the contrast to someone who does not have a job and is clearly visible as unemployed. So it means the person who is working in the family by sharing the work, so here he is not working to his full potential. So this person comes under the underemployment, but truly they are clearly visible as an unemployed people. So here the landlord hires 1 or 2 members of the family to work on his land. So the Gayatri family is now able to earn some extra income through wages, since as they do not need 5 people to look after that small plot, and 2 people moving out does not affect the production on their farm. But in the above example, the 2 people may move to work in a factory or the trade, and again earnings of the family would increase, and they would also continue to produce as much as their land. So there are lakhs of farmers like Gayatri in India. This means that even if several people from agriculture sector are provided with the proper work, so here the agriculture production will not suffer. The income of the people who take up other works and would increase the total family income. So here the underemployment can also happen in other sectors. For example, there are thousands of casual workers in the service sector in urban areas who search for daily employment, and these employed as they are employed as painters, plumbers, repair persons, and doing other odd jobs, and many of them don't found the work every day. And similarly, and we also see other people of the service sector, so on the streets pushing a cart or selling something, where they may spend the whole day but even earn very little. So they are doing this work because they do not have a better opportunities. So here if you observe, the service sector has grown. All the service sector activities are not growing equally. So here the service sector in India employs many different kinds of people. On the other hand, the limited number of services that employ highly skilled and educated workers. So if you see on the other hand, there are a large number of workers who are engaged in the service activities, and such as small shopkeepers, repair persons, transport persons, and these people barely manage to earn a living, and they perform these activities because no alternative opportunities for work are available to them. Hence they are only a part of this sector is growing in importance. So here that means the people, as they are not having any alternative opportunity to work, so which they have to lead their livelihood. So to lead their life, to have their livelihood, they are depending on this service activities where they are not working to their potential. So if the work can be divided among the other people, like in the Gayatri's example, so here the other 2 members from the family, they can work outside, where the income of the family may also increases. But in general, the people, as they are not finding the opportunities, they are engaged in underemployment. So in truly, like, they are clearly visible as an unemployment. Okay, so here this is about the employment opportunities and about the three different sectors in this lesson, production and employment. And next, in this part 2, we continue the organized and unorganized sector. I hope you understand this lesson very well. So please subscribe to my channel. Who are watching first time, please subscribe, and if you are having any doubts, please comment in the comment box. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. See you in the next video.